Today we're checking out a Minecraft video. That's right, Minecraft. Even though I normally do anime reactions here on the channel, we're gonna give Minecraft a try because I like Minecraft. Why not watch a video about Minecraft, okay? So my editor sent me this one. I got hired to watch over a server that doesn't exist. Sounds kind of spooky, I'll be honest. But let's see what's up. If you enjoy this video, click the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. And if you do enjoy my reaction, I see it gets a lot of likes and a lot of comments, then maybe I will do more reactions to Minecraft videos. Let's jump into it.
Hello there. We are reaching out following a form where you indicated interest in the following role:
Server Watchdog.
We would love to offer you $4 per hour spent watching
$4
the
an
following
hour?
server.
What the fuck?
This screenshot is the banner image for a channel named Cashing Checks, but according to the player, Cash, he never filled out a form and has no idea how these people got his email. But out of curiosity, Cash decides to log on and check out this server. Cash loads in for his first night shift and is met with some signs welcoming him to the
Wait, this is like one of those, this is like a, this is like one of those types of videos. What are they called? I don't know. One of those like scary story types of videos, but a Minecraft version? What the fuck? It's a little weird.
Outlook SMP. Now, the text on the signs seems to be a bit messed up, perhaps from like the server being upgraded from an older version. However, nothing else seems to be all too messed up. At least that is until... All right, I see exactly why this server needs some admin. It has been griefed to high hell. You would think though that if Cash is supposed to admin for the server, he should probably have creative mode, maybe some operator perms, but instead he seems to be forcibly stuck in survival mode. But this doesn't really matter because no one appears to be online and Cash is pretty much free to explore wherever he wants. As he explores this main area, he comes across a main conversation.
Dude, somebody built a whole like server to fuck with someone? That's kind of cool.
Board of sorts. To the best I can read it, it says Goal 1, gather materials, equipment, etc. Goal 2, build main base. Goal 3, enjoy it all until he comes back. Of course, they're not going to tell us who he is, but beneath that it says, how long do we have, would you say? And then in very faint text, we see 2 weeks maybe. So from this, we can assume that someone is coming back soon, and that seems to be a bad thing. But best case, it's nothing. Worst case, we could be looking at some sort of like stalker who keeps finding their way onto these people's Minecraft server. Cash certainly treats it like it's not important because he moves swiftly along to just raiding.
I do like how this is one of those like, yeah, the true crime, like creepy sort of vibe of like the way that they're presenting this. It is kind of cool. I like that. But it's very much like a guy made a server to like, you know, to put a person on in there. Like at most, it is like somebody made the server. I know I'm like breaking the immersion, but like somebody made a server that someone else is like, you know, they made a server basically to fuck with somebody, you know, and also make it kind of creepy. That's it. It's not like there's like an actual like fucking monster in the game that's like ruining the server. It's not like that. I know I'm breaking the immersion, but anyways.
Bases for items, but
oh look, there's actually items
available to him are A, glitched, and B, pretty much useless. Cash speaks to us for the first time and says, quote, they told me not to interfere with the world, but it seems like people already did. Well, this is helpful because it's clear Cash has had further correspondence with this watchdog thing. But the kicker here is Cash tells us that he doesn't even have a texture pack on right now and even shows us. So the fact that he's seeing these textures and these items being the way they are is very, very weird. Cash informs us that the watchdog people told him that the daylight cycle is tied to real life, meaning that wherever these players are, it's nighttime for them. And Cash says it's nighttime for him as well, so they might even be in the same time zone. Eventually though, Cash just decides to pillar up in the center of town and crank up his render distance to like watch over the area. Unfortunately, the second he does that, his PC starts to have an absolute crisis. Come on, Cash, showing up unprepared for the job? You didn't buy a fancy PC when you got hired? Come on. Well, Cash, I would love to canonically recommend you an Ironside PC.
Oh, okay. Here's the ad. Here's the ad.
Received a PC from them, and not only can it gorgeously play Minecraft, but it also looks gorgeous. Ironside has a variety of PC builds, and I chose to get their newest Terminal 1 design, which was quite the step up both mechanically and visually. The Ironside team has been genuinely one of the most hands-on and friendly companies I've talked to, and gave updates on how my PC build was doing every step of the way. And sure, we've got Cash over here who's only getting paid a modest $4 an hour watching watching over this server, but hey, that's no excuse because I'm doing a free PC
Yo, 32
giveaway with
bucks for
Ironside,
8-hour
where
shift?
You can click
Ah,
on the link
nice.
below to have a chance to receive an entirely free PC. The PC is valued at $2,400
Out. Thank you.
Oh,
if you win. So truly, there's no reason not to go check it out in the link below. For now though, Cash just turns down his render distance and watches over the server for a bit until he hears
You have been clocked out. Thank you for your time.
all right, let's talk about this, I guess. That was a goat horn that is in the vanilla game. However, that's not something
Interesting.
that can simply be done or played without a player blowing into the horn. And as we can see, no one is online right after that noise is played until we see a player join with just the username. Potentially, if Cash had been holding down tab when they did join, we might have been able to see like a player skin, but even that seems unknown. And I don't like unknowns. So let's start getting some knowns in here. Cash is back for another night shift, but this time when he logs on, that pillar he was on has been removed. So he just sort of... But once he
Damn.
respawns, he finds that his stuff is gone and a message is sent into the chat.
Please do not intrude into the server / movement blocks or items.
To which Cash responds, dude, you like got him. That was so good. Cash does indeed try to tread a bit more lightly, and he heads back to the house with the enchantment table again. Cash starts looking through stuff, and by looking through stuff, I mean looking through stuff. He's going through chests, ripping through the bookshelves, and a literal secret passageway in a bookshelf. Come on, it doesn't get much better than that. So Cash makes his way down and sees tunnels, seemingly man-made tunnels. Cash walks around through
This is
them and
kinda
eventually
cool. I
finds
like this
another
story
ladder
so
that
far. This
leads
is
him
sick.
up into a different one of the houses. So these tunnels essentially just connect each house together. It's finally at this point that Cash realizes the book he grabbed is a book and quill, and he reads,
Don't listen to whatever he told you. It's probably lies. And if you are him, fuck you.
all right, some
Whoa.
fighting words for this alleged him. But clearly, whatever this book is talking about is something that went down on this server. And what that is remains to be seen. But eventually, Cash makes his way over to this signboard again. And this time, all the signs seem to be gone.
oh,
This confirms at least that someone has been on this world since he was
Interesting.
last logged on. And I believe Cash realizes that too, because he decides to write a sign of his own. And he says,
Hello? Can anyone see this?
well, based off of that dark oak, no, I cannot. Jesus. He grabs some yellow dye
Yeah,
so
for
it's
real.
actually legible and then continues exploring. He finds another secret way into the tunnels, and then eventually he just freezes and goes AFK for a while. When he does come back, eventually he says, quote, sorry, I think there was a deer outside or something. He then decides he wants to check out the nether, and he gets a block so that he can get in there, and of course he gets disconnected. You can call it a coincidence. I'm gonna call it tactical nerfing. Now, this whole mention of seeing something in real life, I'm personally going to chalk up to paranoia for now. I mean, you're doing a night shift. This is the second night that Cash has presumably stayed up late, and probably you're going to be pretty paranoid the entire time. So with that being said, let's move to this third
Yeah, I
shift
doubt
where
that there was
some
anything
stuff
out
goes
there, you know.
down. We log back on.
I
and
like
we are
this, though. This
immediately
is
met
cool.
with
This is like
another
a little
message from
mystery
the
thing.
Watchdog protocol saying,
Please stop modifying the server. Your game mode has been updated.
and unfortunately, it's correct. Cash is no
Oh,
longer in
no.
survival. He's in adventure mode now, which means he can't place or break blocks, which sucks because he has received a response. It says, yes, but who are you? And Cash can't edit these signs anymore, so we don't know how Cash is going to be able to respond to, oh, yeah, that's smart. He can use the book. Cash writes into the book, hi, still me. My name is Cash. I was hired to watch over this server. Who are you? But Cash needs somewhere to put this book, and very smartly, he goes over to that bookshelf, assuming that if anyone else tries to use the secret passageway, they'll get the book and maybe see the message. But we have to wait until... And just like that,
What?
the book is gone. My
What?
heart dropped because I thought this Watchdog protocol like had taken the book or something, but after a little bit, the book returns. Cash opens it and it reads, you are what to watch over the server? Your typing is weird. It seems that when this person reads our text, it also has the weird X's. So Cash responds, someone hired me to watch over the server. I'm getting paid to log on and play. And then asks again, who are you? He puts the book back, and then after a bit, we get a response that says, "I don't trust
What the
this.
fuck?
Leave me alone." Cash tries to write back saying he's just as confused as they are, but after waiting,
Oh, there's
a while,
another
it's clear
person
that
on the
this
other-
person has
from the upside
fully
down.
and isn't responding. He leaves the book there, but goes and tries to figure out some more information on anywhere this person could have gone. But this opens an interesting thing because typically in Minecraft, there's always some sort of tell for where a person is. If they've got invisibility potions, you see the bubbles. Even if you use a command to get rid of the bubbles, you can see like ground particles. But in all of these shots where the player should be here, there is nothing you can see of them. It is literally as though they are a ghost on this world. Cash is looking around in one of the other houses when he suddenly comes across a very well hidden barrel, and it has a book inside. Now, unfortunately, it's unsigned. However, it does have some very interesting text.
You know he's
I
real.
know he's real. I hear him behind me all the time. I can feel his eyes watching me. No one ever believes me, but I know it's real.
Another classic, oh,
And
someone's
he's the
watching
one?
me trope. I'm bored. Can I play Candy Crush on your phone? Anyway, as Cash looks around, he sees a weirdly placed button, and upon pressing it, it actually opens a secret
Another
door.
fucking
Right as he goes down
thingy.
it, his game crashes. A
Oh.
message pops up from him saying that this is pretty typical for his PC, and eventually he logs back in. And when he does, Cash tells us,
I gave my friend the server IP so he could log on and check this out with me. But when he tried to get on, it said he wasn't whitelisted. But I never sent that email, my gamer tag.
"Oh boy." So for those who don't
Okay,
know, whitelisting on Minecraft
sick.
basically lets
This is
only
interesting. I
select
like
gamer
this,
tags
man.
to be allowed on
This is
to a Minecraft
cool.
server. But you need to know their gamer tag in order to do this.
I mean, it's all
According to
bullshit,
Cash,
but it's
he
cool.
never
I like
sent
it.
These people his gamer tag, but somehow his player was whitelisted. This just confuses me further because the only person we've talked to on this server has no idea who Cash is. So they certainly wouldn't have whitelisted him to the server, right? And this world was also very clearly griefed, so if it had a whitelist the whole time, that couldn't happen. Anyway, Cash makes his way back over to where he was and drops back down into just the tunnels again. But we see a very quick glimpse of like a passageway opening, and he makes his way over to it and tries to find whatever button or trigger just opened it, but there's nothing around. But Cash is actually a genius, and he tells us to hold on because he has an idea. And he comes back and shows us that he's downloaded an X-ray shader pack. He's realized that if this is another redstone door, he can try to figure out where it's located and what the input to it is. And when he takes a look, we can see that there's a skulk sensor that seems to be what opens this door, but Cash, for the life of him, cannot trigger it. There's nothing I can see that says why this wouldn't work, and clearly someone just triggered the skulk sensor because the door opened.
What the fuck?
Eventually, Cash just takes a break from his computer, and we see the screen go black again. And Cash basically explains that he saw something outside his window again, and he went to take a picture of it. And he shows it to us, and it is corrupted badly. Cash puts up some arrows
Cool.
of like what we're supposed to be looking at, but the weirdest thing about this all to me is Cash never acknowledges that the image is corrupted. Cash says there are often a lot of deer in his yard, so he just went back to playing. He is truly just walking down this hallway, and I don't know about y'all, but Cash's reflexes are insane. You can hear the skulk sensor go off, the door opens, and he's just barely able to make it inside before
Damn.
it shuts again.
That's
But
crazy.
inside where exactly? Cash turns around and
What
is in
the
this
fuck is
massive
this?
room
This is
of sorts.
cool.
There's two
Yeah, no
sets of
hesitation, he
books
just
at
went
the
for it.
end,
I would've been like,
and when
huh?
Cash opens
What's
them,
that? I would've
we
been
are
stupid.
met with this monstrosity. And there are several like pages of these inside of the different books. Now, luckily, Cash shows it all to us, so I can give you a breakdown. Let's take a look at this first page, right? We can see that aside from all this gibberish, there seems to be a lot of X's in here. Now, the X's are all over this server, so I think that this is so confusing because it's like two different encoding methods on top of each other. So I'm going to ignore the X's and try to figure out what the original encoding process is. X's aside, all of these words end in OW, and now this rung a bell, but I didn't know why. And after some Googling, I realized it's because this is basically how Pig Latin works. In Pig Latin, you take a word,
Oh,
you rip off the
ixnay on
first
the ag
consonants,
bay.
and you put it at the end, and then you add AY. I remember this because back in like grade school, kids would like make their own languages by just changing the AY to something else, and it would sound like a pretty distinct language. And in this case, they seem to have chosen OW as the ending sound. So if you take this text, remove all the ows, we're actually closer to legible text. Then all we have to do is move any consonants from the end to the front. However, with so many X's in the mix, it makes it really hard to know when there's a
His is a
consonant or
basic
not.
sentence,
to the
so
best of my
you
knowledge,
can.
what this
Oh,
says
this is a basic sentence, so you
this
can.
is a basic sentence, so you can practice the new code. Remember that the code word is ow. I'm a way, iterale, Enos gay. I'm a genius.
You're gay.
Let's look
You're
at another
gay.
page, shall we?
You're
We
Enos
remove
gay.
the ows, shift consonants to the front, and
No, I'm
fix
just
the
kidding.
X's that are obvious. We read, do you actually believe him? I think he's a hacker that somehow keeps finding us or something. Now, upon initially reading this, I thought whoever is talking here was talking about Cash. It speaks
I thought
about
so too.
whether or not they want to believe him. and
Yeah,
how
I
he
thought so
keeps
as well.
Finding us, but this text is towards the beginning of the first book. So this maybe took place a while ago, and I think this
Oh,
because
the
there's a
griefer.
page on the other book that reads like this. Hey, I just spoke with someone who seemed to be the same person who wrote on the signs. Says his name is Cash, something was hired to watch over the server. If he's playing a trick on us, it's a weird trick to play. I don't know. Basically, this person is talking about Cash, and this is clearly whoever spoke with Cash prior. It literally mentions it by name, but this leaves into question who the book was talking about prior. It talks about he again, and that he keeps finding us. Now, to me, that could mean maybe they're hiding from like a stalker almost that keeps getting into their server.
the eyes are
Going back to
creepy.
Cash on the server, he
Whoa.
gets kicked off pretty soon after, and it's
Of
clear
course.
that someone doesn't want him in there because when
Obviously.
he logs on for his next shift, he is told that his location will be reset every minute. What does that mean? Well, basically, as he's wandering around, after a minute goes by, he is just
Teleported back to the beginning.
right back to the start. And Cash tries to continue looking around for new information or anyone to talk to, but with his location getting reset so often, he gives up and says that he's just gonna sit here and get paid, which is fair. And it's at that point that we see editor Cash come on back and says that he fell asleep while just sitting there on the server, which adds up. This man has stayed up so late, so many nights. But he tells us that when he looked back at the footage, he saw this happen. Cash says that he'll check that chest next time he logs on. But come on, is it ever that easy? Because Cash logs on again.
What the fuck? What the fuck? That's so weird. Oh, you can do this now, at least. Bro had one job and fell asleep? True. Hey, bro, you couldn't even do your job correctly. What are you doing now, brother? This is very weird. I kind of like it though. It's kind of sick. It's got that vibe, you know, that like secret.
See that? When Cash walked inside, the textures all seemed to change. And when he walks back out, right back to normal.
yeah.
It's clear Cash notices this, but all he has to say on the matter is wild. And then he continues to look around this house. For once, the chests actually have items, not some distorted, glitchy version of items. And there's furnaces, there's a bed. It truly seems to be a normal house. However, when he gets to this top floor, he's looking through chests and sees a painting. And when he
And
checks
that's
it,
one
there's
you
a
walk through,
secret
of course.
room behind it, covered in signs that seem to be like a
course.
journal of sorts.
Of
It's
course.
the first time we've seen signs that don't have X's all over them, and they read,
They promised me that I won't be left out again. They went to fight the dragon without me. They said they thought I wasn't online. Swear I didn't show up in the tab menu.
Cash mentions that he had people not showing up at the tab menu earlier.
They helped me build my base some more. They just feel bad for me. I'm tired. Barely anyone is playing anymore. I don't know why I keep playing.
This
What
is
the fuck?
interesting, but also a little too on the nose. I feel as though we've seen so much information get distorted that the fact that that isn't makes me not want to trust it.
Of
but
course.
essentially what's happening here
Oh, was that
this-
always there?
That wasn't there before,
I'm saying, right?
right? The answer, of course, is no. But Cash makes his way down this staircase, and we are met with signs in just all caps, screaming at us more or less, and we even have our X's that seem to have returned. I'll let you pause if you want to read any of this. It's mostly generic ooky spooky stuff, but
Okay. Yeah.
the scary thing is
Ha!
this is the first time on this server that we have heard movement of another player. And the weird thing is, we heard a door open, but all of the doors are exactly how Cash left them prior. Cash goes to return to that basement area and is immediately clocked out. This was a lot of information, and I want you to tuck everything
What
you just
the
saw
fuck?
in the back of your mind as I go into what
Damn.
comes next. Cash posted on his community tab that he was able to get onto the normal server again and check that chest before he was immediately clocked out. But he took 2 screenshots of the 2 pages, and they look like this. We read, "I'm going out on a limb and trusting you are who you say you are. But to be safe, you gotta solve this. The answer is right in front of you, then right." And on the next page, we see multiple of like a link that's been jumbled, and whoever did this is very smart because they pasted it several times to account for the X glitch. I tried some basic ciphers online before I decided to use that big old juicy brain I got upstairs, and I realized that in front of Cash, presumably, all the time, is a keyboard.
Of
So
course.
this is probably just a keyboard cipher where you take your keyboard and you shift all the letters one way or another. So if you do that with our lovely gibberish here, we get a YouTube link to an unlisted video that is just a black screen, but with this audio.
It's honestly so stupid that I'm even doing this, but just in case you're a real person, somehow you should know what's going on. This is a Minecraft server where my friends and I play Minecraft on, and it's just normal until we started getting harassed by this guy, and he kept making his way onto our server to the point where we got a new one. Then he found that one, but no matter what we do, he won't leave us alone. Joe, one of my friends, thinks it's a literal ghost because we even tried banning his IP, but it didn't stop him.
What the fuck?
Basically, around the time it started, one of my friends did this whole thing where he convinced us that there's this thing called the God Watcher or something. It was just a Bloody Mary knockoff. If you said the name 3 times, it would come, yada yada. Anyway, you're not even gonna find this thing.
This is quite the interesting story, but I agree with whoever's
The God
speaking here.
Watcher.
Odds are this God Watcher thing was just a
Oh, I was like, is there an OW there? And then it is, never mind.
prank made up by a friend. Why are the letters moving?
Oh, that is the thing. I was thinking of, that's what I was thinking. Remove the OW. Oh, wait, no, not remove the OW. Just move it around. Okay, I'm stupid.
Oh my god, guys, no way! Sorry, I'll take this seriously. Basically, the God Watcher is a entity that is on the Minecraft Entities Wiki, and it says,
Oh.
The God Watcher is an urban myth long lost to Minecraft versions gone by. It is rumored to be a spirit that chose to live in the digital world of Minecraft rather than pass on to the next life. The God Watcher implores the player to say its name 3 times while placing a poppy each time. This not only grants the God Watcher into your world, but also ties it to your player so that wherever you go, it may follow. However,
that's
there's a
weird,
part
bro.
that talks about the different things that this entity will do to players. And
That's
the
weird.
one that stands out the most is how it says the most consistent occurrence is an increase in coal generation on every world the player joins. Earlier in these videos, I had noticed that in these tunnels, there was an impressive amount of coal in the walls, especially since if it were me, I would have mined all of that to get some torches or something. But now I'm starting to think that coal is there for a very different reason. And judging by the fact that this article talks about how it torments people and makes them see things that aren't there, I'm a bit worried about the future of our lovely Cash. The next video isn't Cash logging onto the server, but instead it's him talking in a Google Doc with someone.
Weird.
And it appears to be that same mystery person who created that video. Based off the channel name before, I'm gonna call this person Riley. And Riley says that she's still really paranoid, and Cash says that's fine. I think you have a reason to be. Cash re-explains everything we know about this whole getting hired thing, but actually does mention that he has gotten paid from these people, that they sent him like $42. Cash asks Riley to tell him more about this whole God Watcher thing. And before
Wait, $42 every day is what he said, right? Oh, never mind.
$2. Cash
Oh, a
asks
couple of days. Oh, okay, a couple of days ago. All right, damn.
Riley to tell him more about this whole God Watcher thing. And before Riley can respond, a notification pops up for Cash of a Ring doorbell. I don't know if this is important, but I'm legally obligated to tell you about it, so there it is. Riley once again pushes off the God Watcher thing, saying
That's
it was just
so
a
weird,
thing
dude.
that her old friends made up on their first SMP, and Cash asks if they still have that server. And Riley says that they actually do. Cash logs on to this very distorted Minecraft server. The last
What
server
the
doesn't even hold a
fuck?
torch to this one when it comes to level of messed up. And Cash is literally just looking around this server, checking chests, and trying to find anything of you.
What the fuck? The mine's IV. What the fuck? Oh, this is very weird. Do not let them reach you, bitch. What are you talking about? Oh, yeah. Nah, you fucked up, bro. He's behind you. He's behind you. Boom. I don't like this. I don't like this at all, bro. I don't like this shit at all, bro. I don't like this shit at all, bro. I don't like this at all. I don't like this. This is scary now. This is scary now. This is fucking scary now. I do not like this shit, dude. I do not like this shit, bro. Oh, hell nah, bro. Hell nah. This is creepy. Oh my god, this is so creepy. Don't you dare. Oh, hey, he's right there. Don't you dare flip that bitch. Yo, I would have let them get way closer before I used that shit. You know what I mean?
Now, whatever that was
weird.
I certainly didn't enjoy it, but it seems to be morning. And
That
Cash
was
actually goes back to that document he was
creepy.
talking to Riley on. And Riley says, I forgot the last time I played on this server was on my old account, so neither of us are whitelisted and can't get on. And Cash says, I was able to get on. I don't understand how this keeps happening. Cash is somehow once again whitelisted for a server he shouldn't be on. Cash goes back to playing on the server and exploring his way around, and he makes his way down one of the tunnels and finds this room, I guess, that didn't seem to be there before. And upon going inside, we see an area that has 3 spots and 3
Poppies.
Cash pulls out the document again, and we can see that Riley is just going crazy.
What's going on?
Why would you?
Cash's next video is him playing on a seemingly brand new server when suddenly Riley joins. Cash walks over to her and says, "Hey," to which she says, Cash replies and says it's because he took care of the whole God Watcher thing. Cash says, "Well, you said it was tied to your friend's Minecraft account, right?" Cash says, "Well, I moved it to mine." And Cash says because all he had to do was deactivate his account and buy a new one. And I didn't notice before, but his gamer tag has changed from Cash
checks
and
cash
to
now.
Checks cashed. Cash goes on to explain that the quote God Watcher took care of the bill. Apparently $42 is just enough for a new Minecraft account and a large pizza.
Oh. You always wish someone would have come and saved you? Huh? Well, you let me in far too long ago, huh?
It was no coincidence that Cash was in the same time zone as the people who played on this server. He was one of the people that played on this server. That's why he was whitelisted
He's
on
Joel!
every server he joined. He wasn't the next person the God Watcher would torment. He was the current. It somehow convinced him that he was a whole other person trying to solve this mysterious
Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you. The hairs on my head are standing, and this is actually really kind of cool. I kind of like this. I actually kind of like this one, dude. This is a cool video.
All to remember just how wrong he was. The next day after this video was posted, Cash's profile picture changed to this image. And since I've edited this video, I went back to Riley's channel, and at some point, it was also changed to that same image. I have not been able to get into contact with either of them.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it's cool, dude. I kind of like that. That's sick. This is well written, dude. This is very well written, very enjoyable. I really enjoyed this a lot. This was cool. That was sick, dude. I really enjoyed this, man. That was dope. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Wait, should I watch more Minecraft videos? Let me know down in the comments. I guess I could watch some that aren't like this, which is like completely scripted. I don't know if all Minecraft videos are gonna be scripted like this. I don't really watch a lot of gaming content. I normally just play video games if I'm gonna play a video game. But this is scripted content, which is good. So I really enjoyed this. This was cool. It combines that whole like weird, creepy, dark, mysterious type of videos with Minecraft, which is kind of sick. I enjoyed that. Anyways, yeah, let me know your thoughts on this one down in the comments. Make sure you go and watch the original video as well. That will be linked in the description. Like and comment over there as well. And subscribe if you enjoyed my reaction. Till next time, make sure you all keep it fresh. Peace.